It may come as no surprise to gamers out there, but Elder Scrolls is one of my favorite series. Morrowind was something I grew up with and absolutely loved more than anything, and I adored Skyrim when it came out as well. And now there's talking about Elder Scrolls 6 and what's happening with this. I'm nervous because, one, I just assume everything's going to go ridiculously woke at this point because this is a big company and this is what happens. I'm also seeing just a couple of signs where it looks like they're abandoning some traditional RPG structures, and it makes me wonder, like, why do RPG companies and I guess the player base they want to cater to, why don't they actually like playing role-playing games? Very weird stuff right here. But we're going to get into this in just a second. I actually got my start in role-playing games. I started writing for some independent ones back in the day, and that's where I came up here, guys. So I hope you'll join us as we talk about all things in science fiction and fantasy especially, and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for being here. My name's John Delarose. I am a fantasy author right now, and I am doing this 6-book series, which is called The Adventures of Baron von Monocle. It's about an airship crew that quests, they progress. It's not a lit RPG, so they don't have that like element, but the characters do progress in that manner. And I owe a lot of my ideas and fun to what I played in Final Fantasy IV and Final Fantasy VI, which is really the inspiration for this series. So please check it out. It's in the description below. It's available on ebook, print, and audio. I would love for you to check out the whole series. It builds up so nicely, and thank you guys for being here. So the latest rumors surrounding Elder Scrolls 6 suggest Bethesda is focused on improving technical performance while revealing the game's probable setting. Microsoft's successor to Skyrim may feature building mechanics similar to Fallout 4's naval battles and seafaring exploration, and may also find their way into Skyrim's successor. Again, like these aren't role-playing game elements, so I'm kind of like, why are we doing this kind of thing right here? But hey, this is what's happening. So Bethesda is, of course, under fire already for what they did with Starfield and with the whole pronoun stuff that's been out there. I really hope it doesn't make its way into this game. That's why I'm just like crossing my fingers that they had enough of that, because gamers have really had enough of that. And a Spanish-speaking YouTuber actually talked about it, saying Bethesda is using a modified version of the internal Creation Engine 2, which is used to develop Starfield. One of the main technical concerns of Elder Scrolls 6's development team is reducing the transition loading times between zones while offering more immersive experiences in Tamriel. Now, that's pretty cool, because this is a nice thing, because one of the most frustrating part about RPGs is loading time between zones. That's always something painful, which is obnoxious, and I hope that that actually is something that they've nailed, because that'd be amazing as a feature. Speaking of Tamriel, the alleged leaks reveal the game will take place not only in one, but two regions, Hammerfell and High Rock. That's pretty cool. These two regions are located in the northwestern region next to Skyrim and Oblivion's Cyrodiil. This applies the game that will feature between 12 and 13 cities, making it most expansive, detailed Elder Scrolls game to date. So interesting stuff right there. Exploration is quintessential as a feature of the franchise, and Bethesda wants to take it a step further. Seafaring exploration and naval battles may be one of the game's new mechanics. And that's something I'm like, The other new mechanics are settlement building, similar to Fallout 4's adapted to medieval atmosphere, and the franchise is known for. And again, that's another not really an RPG sort of thing. Forts, castles, walls, and farms may be some of the options players can build or grow. According to the leaks, Bethesda is updating the leveling system by removing classes, and this is what drives me crazy. Why are you changing that and offering more flexible options? This is what RPGs is all about. This is how you get Dungeons and Dragons in a game, which is kind of what we just want, guys. This is such a mistake, I can't tell you, because I don't believe that changing the class systems, changing the leveling systems, every time this sort of thing, it just diminishes the games. And that's something with the Final Fantasy series that I really hated too. Like, you built up these classes for your characters in the earlier games, and you built up the skills, and you had the skill points and the like. Once you got into like Final Fantasy 13 and they decided to do this weird sort of CP system that was not really classes, I hated it. I really thought that like was a detriment to the game. That was just not as fun as like the traditional RPG model. Now, when you get into a Western RPG specifically, you really want that. Again, this is we want is Dungeons and Dragons on our screen. That is literally it. So it should be what they put into the game. And flexible options. It could just mean that you get a lot more choices, which is cool. But I'm guessing that they're going to remove a lot of level progression type stuff, which I don't like. The leaks apparently don't dive into the details and what the flexibility entails, but it'll be worth keeping an eye out for. That's just my speculation right there. But again, I kind of see how modern games go, and I see their like disdain for actual RPG elements. If you look at a lot of these recent offerings, they don't really offer what RPGs used to back in the day, and that's really the problem with everything that we see out there. It's like they try to modernize everything. I think the main problem with players at this point, or at least the perception of players, is that people think that there's just not patience for the level grind at this point, and maybe that's true. Maybe that's what people don't want to do anymore, and that's why so many of the MMOs out there are pay to play at this juncture. Like, you just pay for all the good stuff rather than actually having to do your level grind, and I think that takes away a lot from the experience. I think that's like killed a lot of the MMO genre, that people don't want to play at this point. And I also think that like for a game like this, that it's just something that's not good. This is an offline game. This is a game where you are just like soloing in an adventure where you want to play a Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing. If you're wondering whether dragons make a comeback, the answer is a resounding yes. Of course, that's going to be the case. This is a fantasy setting, and that's going to be very obvious on that front. And this is the Dragon Age killer right here, because Dragon Age didn't focus on the right things on that level, and this is going to. Unofficial reports suggest that after Elder Scrolls 6's announcement back in 2018, Bethesda has been making significant progress on the game if part of the team was focused on Starfield. The studio, which is part of Xbox Game Studios brand, may offer new official glimpse of the game coming in June. Now, this is a long time to make a game. This is the thing that like Western developers are struggling with all the way around. Why is this game taking like 8 years to make, maybe 9 years, maybe it'll be 10 years by the time it actually comes out? I mean, will we get this before GTA 6? I don't know, but hey, this is kind of where the system is. And this is exactly what we were talking about with the Marvel Rivals studios yesterday. Like, when they're frustrated in China with like the Western developers and just how lazy they are, it seems like this is the case on this level. And it seems like this is a struggle of too much bloat into another AAA game. And that worries me, because especially since it's been in development all that time, that means all the elements of Black Lives Matter, the gender stuff, the trans stuff is all probably part of this game. They might be trying to strip it out at this point because they know that it just creates a failure. But I'm very, very worried that we're going to get that kind of thing as well. So I don't trust Bethesda whatsoever. After Starfield, I really think that they have lost their way. I don't think that they're on their way towards something good. They might have tried to shift courses because it is 2025 now, and they're seeing the trends of things. But they need to put back in the classic elements of Morrowind, the classic elements of Oblivion that are real RPG things if they want to get this to be a game that resonates with gamers and lasts for the long term and keeps the franchise going. Because if they don't do that, this is going to be another dead franchise that was once a beautiful thing. And Elder Scrolls deserves so much better. This has such a rich, rich history, a rich, rich lore to it that I would love for them to get this one right and nail it. Let's hope they do it. What do you think about this? Are you excited for Elder Scrolls 6? Do you believe that Bethesda can actually do anything at this juncture? Leave a comment down below. What do you think about role-playing games too? I'd love to hear from you on that level. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Check out my beautiful fantasy book for Steam and Country and grab that whole series today. All 6 books are going to be an epic adventure for you. If you love some deep, rich lore, this is going to be fun, and I appreciate you guys for reading.